Hey guys, and welcome to Quality Shot. Well, what a day of tennis! I say what a day of tennis. There were a few, obviously, let's say, less competitive matches than maybe we would have liked to have seen. Andy Murray. um, but in saying that, look, I don't think there were too many upsets. A few, maybe people thought didn't go the way they were expecting. But in terms of huge upsets, well, we can go through the day's play. So let's start off with Andy Murray versus Denis Shapovalov. The reason why I want to start off there is because it was the last match to finish on centre court at Wimbledon. And going into this, I think people, and rightly so, had Andy Murray as a huge underdog. Denis Shapovalov in good form coming off the grass, has the game for grass, very talented, lefty, one-handed backhand, a lot of flair. Big game, big serve, big forehand, very mobile. Just looks like one of the next superstars, really. We talked about Alcaraz yesterday, and obviously you've got Olga Alessiam, who will be playing tomorrow. I'll talk about the matchups for tomorrow. There's some fantastic matches there. But yeah, he just looked really good, and I think he played like a number 10 seed, to be fair. And Andy Murray, unfortunately, is probably around, one of the subscribers said he's probably around 25, and to be fair, I think he beat Basilashvili, who was seeded number 24. I would say he's probably around number 20. I would most likely back him against most players. Obviously, there's always stylistic matchups where maybe it wouldn't favor him as much, but I'd always favor him against anyone kind of outside of the top 15. Between 15 and 10, kind of could go either way. Anyone in the top 10, I think he's going to struggle. And this current form anyway. Let's see what happens. I think obviously we'll have to see how his hip holds up, and also match fitness, match sharpness, I think is the biggest thing. And he had a couple of the first rounds where he could have made his life a lot easier. Wasn't clinical, I think is probably the right word for it. Ended up playing really long matches, and he just looked spent and knackered in this match, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, and didn't help. The crowd were behind him, and he just didn't really look G'd up. Didn't really look like he had anything left to be able to dig into, any reserves really left to dig into, and kind of whimpered almost to that loss. Unfortunately, it happens though. I mean, he hasn't played a tournament, a Grand Slam, or a tournament where he's got as deep as this for a little bit of time now. So, look, decent run to the third round, and if he'd won this, it would have been an extremely, extremely impressive victory, but unfortunately just wasn't to be. And to be honest with you, the British disappointment continued with Dan Evans, who lost to Sebastian Korda, another very impressive young player coming through. He was actually unseeded, only 20 years of age, beating Dan Evans 6-3, 3-6, 6-3, 6-4. Dan Evans actually was a break-up in the first and the he was a breakup in the first and also the fourth set. Both pretty much play out the same way. He broke, then lost concentration, had a blip, right, in mentality, and just unfortunately, straight after breaking, had a bit of a mind blank and mind fart, and unfortunately just got broken back pretty much straight away. And then Sebastian Korda then went on to break him again. Ended up winning 3 games in a row, and ended up taking both those sets. And it could have been a very different story. And after he was really distraught, Dan Evans. Look, if we look at it from a technical point of view, Sebastian Korda, much bigger serve. So he had a lot of points which were, let's say, a lot easier and shorter on his service game. Dan Evans didn't hit a single ace. Sebastian Korda, I think, ended up hitting 12 aces in total. The serve is a difference for sure. Sebastian Korda is 6'5", so he doesn't just hit the serve with pace, because Dan Evans is not a slow serve, but it's not a big serve. It's kind of in between, around like 120 miles per hour max. But he's not a particularly good spot server for the most part. Wasn't firing on all cylinders, I don't think, and obviously didn't get many free points behind it. And in addition to that, he has a very unique and tricky game. Very low over the net, likes to slice, and Sebastian Korda kind of worked that out, I think, after the first set and a half, 2 sets, and just started to then step in, and a couple of serve volley attempts, and also volleying in the middle of rallies, knowing when and anticipating when to come into the net at the right times, and that helped him. Obviously, off the ground as well, and the forehand and backhand, he's very solid. Sebastian Korda as well reminds me a little bit of Alexander Zverev in the backhand side, especially. Similar height, and the way he bends down and gets down is quite similar. And I think the technique and the way that he hits it reminds me of Alexander Zverev. Look, I mean, he's going to go far. Dan Evans had opportunities. As I said, he was breaks up. He had some break points as well. Didn't capitalize. And he lost in 4, where really it should have gone to 5 sets. He was 4-2 up in that 5th set, if I'm not mistaken. I was watching it, so I'm pretty sure it was. And unfortunately, just couldn't go on. And that was a bit of a disappointment, to be honest with you. And, after he said I didn't really play the big points very well, it was a huge disappointment. Sebastian Korda cited playing the big points well as well. And that really was the difference between the two players. Apart from that, not really much between them, if I'm being completely honest. Novak Djokovic played a very entertaining match with the American cuddler. They're pretty good mates outside of the court, winning 6-4, 6-3, 7-6. Cuddler looked pretty good in the first few games, and the commentators were saying you don't even know who's the multiple Grand Slam champion at the moment, because as in if you didn't know them, you'd just say, well, hold on, they're both pretty damn good players. And look, that will happen, I think, especially in the first few games of a set. Sometimes, the big three or the elite players, it takes them a bit of time to not just warm up, but figure out their opponent. And he'll sit on serve, though, and then Djokovic got the break in that first set. And then from there, it was, this is going to be a professional performance. And that's what it was. And he was clinical. And that's something that obviously, say, Andy Murray was missing. And it shows a bit of the golf in maybe not just class at the moment, but the mentality as well. And Djokovic is a level above pretty much the whole tour mentally, I would say, at the moment. And it shows. And he just looks rampant. I don't know if anyone can stop him. We shall see. But I think it might take a bad day at the office and someone to have a bit of a blinder for him to not equal, Nadal and Federer on 20 slams, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, and winning his 6th Wimbledon title. Bautista Agut, RBA, came through against Koepfer 7-5, 6-1, 7-6. Couple of close sets there, and he sets up a matchup with Denis Shapovalov. So that will be a good little matchup. I'm actually really looking forward to that. I would slightly edge towards Shapovalov, but RBA is a damn fine player. So let's see. I think 60-40 Shapovalov, one of my subscribers said that, and I agree with them. Schwartzman, and to be honest, it is an upset. He's a number 9 seed. I know grass is not really his preferred surface, but to lose to Fucsovics is a surprise, losing 6-3, 6-3, 6-7, 6-4 to the man, really. To the man that is Fucsovics. I think he will play, if I'm not mistaken, Andrei Rublev, who beat Fognini 6-5, 5-7, 6-3, 5-7, 6-4, 6-2. Fognini had a couple of patches where he was playing unbelievable tennis. He is such a talent, genuinely, the Italian, and he generates power from I don't know where. He's not particularly tall, he's not particularly big. It's just pure timing, and it is incredible to watch. And he clearly has a talent that, the kind of size, weight, and just the short backlift as well. Hardly anyone at all can do it, and it's incredible. He sometimes will just conjure magic out of nowhere. Garin came through in 4 against Martinez, and I was quite sad about this. Tiafoe against Kachanov. I wanted to see Tiafoe keep on progressing, and he'd obviously had a very good couple of rounds. Beating Tsitsipas in the first round was a big win for him in straights as well. Obviously, Tsitsipas, maybe not himself, but look, it's a win is a win against a top player. But beating Kachanov 6-3, 6-4, 6-4 was incredibly. Kachanov winning 6-3, 6-4, 6-4 was a little bit disheartening. I would have liked Tiafoe to get through, but let's see how Kachanov does in a good win for the number 25 seed. Should we go on to the women's quickly? Yeah, let's do that. So Madison Keys came through against Elise Mertens. Not really an upset. I think Madison Keys probably has a slightly better game than Mertens on grass, if I'm being honest with you, although Mertens is a very good doubles player. So obviously on the net and decent serve, but yeah, interesting one. obviously a lot of the Americans were on show because a lot of them have just made it through to the third round. But Brengle, one of the Americans, unfortunately not going through. Gul- I'm going to try and pronounce this right. Golubic winning 6-2, 6-1. Jabeur came through 5-7, 6-3, 6-2. That was such a good match. And beating a former Grand Slam and Wimbledon champion in Muguruza. She is continuing her campaign to become the first North African player to win a Grand Slam. Would be amazing. The Tunisian player, just I genuinely want to. If I wanted anyone to win, it would be her at the moment. Rogers losing to Rybakina 6-1, 6-4, and yeah, it looks like most of the Americans, apart from Madison Keys, all lost. So a huge exit from a lot of the Americans. Sloane Stephens, that was sad to see. I like Sloane Stephens; she's a good player. Losing 6-2, 2-6, 6-4, losing in 3 to Samsonova. Sabalenka blitzing Osorio Soriano 6-love, 6-3. Pliskova coming through 6-3, 6-3, and Swiatek. I mean, mate, when she turns it on, she really does turn on 6-1, 6-love. Absolute carnage. Seriously, wow. Right, let's have a look at tomorrow's matches. Let's look at the men's first. So we've got her catch versus Bublik. I'm going to go through some of the ones that. So Berretini Badin, most likely we will be streaming that. It won't be myself, it'll be Venu, who a lot of you will know if you have tuned to the streams, who helps out a lot on the channel. My best mate as well. Loves his tennis, and he most likely will be streaming Berrettini versus Badin at least probably the first hour and a half. So potentially the whole match, depending on, I guess, how much you guys make sure you tune in, ask lots of questions, get involved. He loves it when people in the chat, and that's how you're going to get him to get the best out of him. So make sure you do. Sonego against Duckworth. Okay, Fritz versus Zverev. That's a good matchup. I mean, Zverev should come through that, but Fritz, he's got a bit about him, obviously. Orgalesiam against Kyrgios. This is my pick. Genuinely, I think it's going to be such a good match. Oh, it's going to be great. Federer versus Cameron Norrie as well. That's not going to be as easy as people think for Roger Federer. I think Cameron Norrie's in fantastic form. If he can hit near his top level, he'll give Federer problems. And but you'd expect obviously Fed to come through. And Medvedev versus Cilic, or Medvedev versus Cilic. The battle of the big, tall, skinny, powerful players. Well, powerful servers anyway. Medvedev not particularly powerful off the ground like Cilic, but a huge server. You'd expect Cilic to come through that. He will just soak up Cilic's power and make sure that, all the unforced errors that Cilic would not be expecting to make, Medvedev will probably force out of him. But let's see. You never know. Machova versus Pavlyuchenko, that's a nice little even matchup. Ostapenko versus Tomljanovic. I'd back Ostapenko in that, to be fair. Kerber and try to say that right. Kerber and Sasnovic. Kerber, Lynette obviously got a good win, beating Svitolina, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was. Against Badosa Gabeur. Krejcikova against Sevastova. Krejcikova, man, all day. Goff versus Ivan. Come on, Goff. Barty, Siniakova. Barty as well. This is the one that I'm interested about the most, actually intrigued about. Raducanu versus Cersei. So Cersei obviously beating Azarenka in the last round, and Raducanu is the 18-year-old from Britain who has only just started taking tennis I say seriously, but taking tennis full-time in the last couple of months, and it's been 3-4 months since the A-levels. Ridiculous. And now she's in the third round. Good luck to her. She's not going to be on court 1. I really hope she gets through. It'll be incredible. Please, come on. Let's see a little bit of a fairy tale run. It'll be amazing. Okay, guys, if you haven't already, please remember to smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Really does help the channel to grow. We have met the target of 1K. It's now time to get to the target of 2K. So any help is greatly appreciated. Liking the video helps, gets the videos out there, gets more subscribers. Commenting helps, gets the video out there, gets more subscribers. And of course, subscribing does help, because that's really one of the biggest goals as well. But yeah, just help the channel to grow, get it out there, help me to get more equipment like this microphone and other stuff as well. Better software, better stats, analytics, get more people on board, more detailed videos as well, more content, better quality, Keep up the support. I really appreciate it. Suggestions are more than welcome. As you can see, my social media links are below here for Facebook, Instagram, and also YouTube. I'm also on Twitter, QualityShot1, and also my email address is on the channel profile. So feel free to drop an email if you've got any ideas, etc. Cool. Okay. Thank you very much, guys. Stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you very much for tuning in. And yeah, thank you.